It's something you may have known all along. Simple, yes, but its power, truly remarkable. Hey there, welcome back. Tonight we're diving into something that almost no one talks about, but it affects nearly everyone over 60. Did you know that the way you eat dinner could be quietly sabotaging your sleep? That's right. The foods you choose, the timing, even the little routines around your evening meal can mean the difference between a night of tossing and turning or finally drifting off into deep, restorative rest. Now, here's why you'll want to stay with me until the very end. In this video, I'm going to share 7 surprising dinner mistakes that can wreck your sleep without you even realizing it. And by the time we reach the last one, you'll discover a simple shift you can make that works almost instantly to calm your body and help you stay asleep longer. You might already know some of these tips. They might even sound basic, but here's the truth. When you put them into practice, the results are out of this world. Imagine waking up at 7 a.m. without grogginess, without that heavy feeling, actually energized and ready for the day. That's possible, and it starts with what you do at dinner. So stick with me. By the end, you'll not only know the hidden mistakes, you'll also have the exact playbook to fix them for good. Let's jump in. All right, let's start with the very first sign your dinner might be messing with your sleep: eating too late in the evening. I know, life gets busy. Maybe you don't feel hungry until after 8 or 9 p.m., or maybe family dinners just naturally run late. But here's the thing. When you eat right before bed, your body is still busy digesting while you're trying to sleep. And digestion is hard work. It keeps your system active when it should be winding down. That's why so many people over 60 tell me, I lay down, but I just can't seem to switch off. Now, this doesn't mean you have to eat dinner at 5 p.m. sharp, like in a retirement home cafeteria. What it does mean is giving your body at least 2 to 3 hours to fully settle before bedtime. That small shift can dramatically reduce nighttime restlessness, bloating, and even acid reflux that often wakes you up at 2 or 3 in the morning. Here's a tip. If you really can't move dinner earlier, try making your late meal lighter. Think soup, salad, or something easy to digest. Save the heavier dishes for lunchtime, when your metabolism is stronger. It sounds simple, right? You might even think, I've heard this before. But when you actually do it, the difference is unbelievable. Your body feels calmer, your sleep gets deeper, and you wake up without that foggy head. The second sign is something we often overlook: too much protein too late at night. Now, don't get me wrong, protein is essential. It helps maintain muscle, repairs tissues, and supports overall health, especially as we age. But here's the catch. Protein takes longer to digest compared to carbs or veggies. When you load up on a heavy steak dinner or lots of chicken late in the evening, your digestive system is still churning away while you're trying to rest. That can lead to indigestion, bloating, or just that uncomfortable, full feeling that keeps you awake. Now, I'm not saying cut out protein. Please don't. Instead, think about portion sizes and timing. If you enjoy meat or fish, try having your biggest portion at lunch. Then, at dinner, go lighter, perhaps a piece of baked fish with steamed veggies, or a small portion of chicken with a side salad. And here's something fascinating. When you balance protein earlier in the day and keep dinner lighter, your body still gets what it needs without overloading your system at night. People often tell me, I didn't realize it, but once I changed my portions, I started sleeping so much better. If you've ever felt that heavy stomach lying in bed, wondering why you just can't get comfortable, that's your signal. Dinner was too heavy, too late, and your body is paying the price. Now let's talk about the third sign, too much sugar or refined carbs at dinner. This one sneaks up on people, especially when we think of dinner rolls, pasta, or even a little dessert after the meal. Here's what happens. Eating sugar or refined carbs causes your blood sugar to spike and giving you that quick burst of energy. But then, just a few hours later, it crashes. And guess what? That crash often happens right in the middle of the night. Suddenly, you wake up at 2 a.m., wide awake, heart racing, maybe even craving something to eat. If that's you, your dinner might be the culprit. Instead of processed carbs, aim for fiber-rich options like quinoa, brown rice, or roasted vegetables. They release energy more slowly, keeping your blood sugar stable throughout the night. And desserts? You don't have to cut them out completely, but save the sweeter treats for earlier in the day. Or, if you really want something sweet after dinner, go for fruit, like a handful of berries. They're lighter on your system, packed with antioxidants, and won't send your blood sugar on a roller coaster ride. Here's the beautiful part. Once you make this shift, you'll notice fewer wake-ups, fewer cravings, and a smoother, more restful night. The fourth sign, too much caffeine hiding in your dinner routine. Now, I know what you're thinking. I don't drink coffee at night. But caffeine isn't just in coffee. It's in tea, chocolate, sodas, and even some medications. For adults over 60, our bodies process caffeine more slowly than they used to. So that cup of tea at 6 p.m. might still be buzzing in your system at 11 p.m. And chocolate? Yes, even a small piece of dark chocolate after dinner can be enough to interfere with deep sleep cycles. The fix is simple. Set a caffeine cutoff. For most people, that's around 2 or 3 p.m. That way, by the time you're ready for bed, the caffeine has already worked its way out of your system. Here's something most people don't realize. Even if you think you can fall asleep fine after caffeine, it still prevents you from getting the deep, restorative sleep your body craves. You might close your eyes, but your brain never fully drops into those slow wave cycles. That's why you wake up groggy. If you want to keep your evening ritual, swap that tea or coffee for a caffeine-free herbal option like chamomile or peppermint. Your body will thank you, and your sleep will finally deepen. The fifth sign is one most people never connect to sleep: alcohol with dinner. I know, a glass of wine or a cocktail feels like it relaxes you, and in the short term it does, but alcohol actually disrupts your sleep cycles. Here's what happens. Alcohol may help you fall asleep faster, but it prevents your brain from staying in deep, restorative stages. That's why so many people wake up at 3 a.m. after drinking even just one glass of wine. Your heart rate rises, your body temperature increases, and your sleep is lighter. I'm not here to say never enjoy a drink. Life's meant to be enjoyed. But be strategic. If you love wine, try having it earlier with dinner, not as a nightcap right before bed. And balance it with water to reduce dehydration. Here's the amazing part. When people cut back on alcohol in the evening, their sleep transforms. They stop waking up sweaty, restless, or anxious in the middle of the night. Instead, they sleep deeper, wake less often, and feel truly refreshed in the morning. If you've been blaming age for your poor sleep, but you're still sipping wine at 9 p.m., this could be your hidden answer. The sixth sign is eating spicy or fatty foods late at night. And trust me, this one can be sneaky. Spicy foods like chili, peppers, or heavy seasonings stimulate your digestive system and raise your body temperature. Fatty foods like fried dishes, creamy sauces, or greasy takeout sit in your stomach for hours, making it harder for your body to fully rest. The result, acid reflux, heartburn, or that awful burning sensation in your chest that jolts you awake just as you're finally drifting off. Here's the good news. You don't have to give up your favorite flavors. The trick is to enjoy heavier or spicier meals earlier in the day, or scale down portion sizes at night. Even swapping fried chicken for grilled or spicy chili for a lighter soup can make a dramatic difference. And here's something worth noticing. As we age, the lower esophageal muscle, the valve that keeps stomach acid where it belongs, gets weaker. That means reflux is more likely at night. Protecting your digestion at dinner is one of the kindest things you can do for your sleep. When you make this shift, you'll notice fewer wake-ups, less discomfort, and a much calmer night overall. The seventh and final sign may surprise you: lack of a calming dinner ritual. Dinner isn't just about food. It's about setting the stage for how your evening and your sleep will unfold. If dinner is rushed, stressful, or eaten in front of a glowing TV with the news blaring, your body doesn't get the message that it's time to wind down. Instead, it stays on high alert. Stress hormones linger, digestion suffers, and by the time you crawl into bed, your system is still buzzing. Here's the fix. Create a simple dinner ritual. Dim the lights. Put on calming music. Eat slowly. Even something as small as taking 3 deep breaths before your meal can shift your nervous system into rest and digest mode. It might sound basic, but the results are out of this world. People tell me that once they started eating dinner more mindfully, their sleep improved almost overnight. They felt calmer, digestion improved, and bedtime became smoother. So remember, it's not just what you eat at dinner, but how you eat it. Your body and your sleep notice the difference. Now, let's pause for a second. If you've been watching up to this point, it means you're serious about improving your sleep. And I love that. So here's a little soft challenge for you. If you're still with me, type 1 in the comments below. Why? Because when you type it, you're not only making a commitment to yourself, but you're also showing others in this community that they're not alone. Sleep struggles are common, especially after 60, but together we can support each other and share what works. Remember, even small changes like moving dinner earlier or swapping out dessert can lead to massive improvements in how you feel every morning. Now, let's keep going, because what comes next is where it all ties together. At this point, you might be thinking, all right, I get it. Eat earlier, eat lighter, cut out the sugar and alcohol. But here's the question. How do you actually make these changes stick? That's where routines come in. Our bodies thrive on rhythm. When you eat at roughly the same time each evening, your body starts preparing for digestion automatically. Hormones adjust, enzymes tick in, and your system actually learns when to wind down. This isn't just about avoiding sleep problems. It's about creating a rhythm your body trusts. And when your body trusts the rhythm, it relaxes faster. Your digestion improves, and your brain releases melatonin, the sleep hormone, at the perfect time. So here's a tip. Set a dinner curfew. Pick a time, say 6:30 or 7 p.m., and make it your consistent evening mealtime. Within a week, you'll notice your body adjusting. Sleep comes easier, and mornings feel less heavy. It might sound small, but remember, small, steady shifts are often the most powerful. Let's add another layer here: hydration. Many people don't realize how water and fluids affect sleep. If you drink a large glass of water, or worse, a whole mug of tea right after dinner or close to bedtime, chances are you'll be waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. to use the bathroom. And once you're up, falling back asleep isn't always easy. But here's the twist: dehydration also hurts your sleep. If you don't drink enough water during the day, your body becomes restless at night, trying to balance fluids. The solution? Front load your hydration. Drink most of your fluids earlier in the day, then, after dinner, sip lightly if needed, but avoid big drinks. This way, your body stays balanced and you minimize those frustrating bathroom trips that break your rest. People often overlook this, but once you master hydration timing, your sleep becomes noticeably smoother. Now let's talk about the emotional side of dinner. Have you ever noticed how your mood at the table carries into your night? Stressful conversations, arguments, or even watching the news during dinner can trigger your nervous system. And once you're triggered, your body doesn't just switch off when you hit the pillow. This is why creating a calm dinner environment matters so much. Try to make dinner a time for gratitude, light conversation, maybe even a moment of silence together. Avoid difficult topics right before bed. One trick I love: after dinner, take a slow 10-minute walk. It aids digestion, lowers stress, and signals to your body that it's time to shift gears. By the time you return, you're already calmer. Digestion is underway, and sleep will feel much easier. Never underestimate the power of emotional peace at dinner. It's one of the most underrated secrets to better sleep. So now you've heard the 7 big signs and some powerful fixes. But let's go deeper, because the way you combine these habits determines your results. Think of dinner like setting the stage for a concert. If the instruments are out of tune, the whole performance suffers. But when everything lines up, timing, food choices, atmosphere, your sleep becomes a beautiful symphony. What I want you to notice is this: even if you improve just one of these areas, you'll likely feel a difference. But when you improve several, that's when the magic really happens. Your body rests deeper, your brain recovers faster, and mornings no longer feel like a battle. So don't just think of these tips as one-offs. Think of them as parts of a whole, each one supporting the other. Each one bringing you closer to the peaceful, restorative sleep you deserve. At this point, some of you might be wondering, but what about supplements? Should I take something after dinner to help me sleep? Here's the truth. Supplements can help, but they're not a substitute for good dinner habits. Magnesium, melatonin, or herbal teas can support your sleep, yes, but if your dinner routine is working against you, no supplement can fully fix that. It's like putting a bandage on a cut without cleaning the wound. It only goes so far. So before you reach for pills or potions, focus on your dinner routine first. Build the foundation. Then, if you want to add a little extra support, like a cup of chamomile tea or a magnesium-rich snack, you'll find they work so much better. This is the smarter, healthier, and more sustainable path to lasting sleep improvement. Now let's check in. If you're still here, still watching, it tells me you're serious about making a change. So here's what I'd like you to do. Type 2 in the comments below. That 2 is your promise, not to me, but to yourself, that you're going to try at least one of these strategies this week. And while you're at it, hit the subscribe button, give this video a like, and share it with someone who also struggles with sleep. Because when more of us improve our sleep, we don't just feel better individually, we create healthier, happier communities, and that's something worth sharing. We're almost at the finish line, but before we wrap up, I want to address a common myth. Poor sleep is just part of getting older. No, that's not true. Yes, our bodies change with age. Yes, hormones shift, and sometimes sleep patterns adjust. But restless nights, frequent wake-ups, and groggy mornings are not something you have to accept. Most of the time, it's not your age, it's your habits. And dinner is one of the most overlooked, yet most powerful levers you can pull. So please don't resign yourself to sleepless nights. With the right adjustments, you can reclaim deep, satisfying rest even in your 60s, 70s, and 80s. Now, here's the most powerful method I found to optimize your dinner routine for amazing sleep: the light and early method. Here's how it works. Aim to eat your main meal of the day at lunch. Make that your hearty, protein-rich, satisfying meal. Then, in the evening, keep dinner light and simple. Think soup, salad, or a small plate of veggies with lean protein. Not only does this method reduce nighttime digestion issues, but it also syncs with your body's natural circadian rhythm. During the day, your metabolism is strong, so heavy meals fuel you. At night, your body wants rest, not work, so light meals prepare you for deep sleep. This single adjustment has transformed sleep for thousands of people. They report falling asleep faster, staying asleep longer, and waking up truly refreshed. If you try just one thing from this entire video, make it this. The light and early method is the ultimate dinner to sleep strategy. So let's recap. The signs your dinner routine might be wrecking your sleep include eating too late, heavy protein at night, too much sugar or carbs, hidden caffeine, evening alcohol, spicy or fatty foods, and skipping a calming ritual. Now, here's the key takeaway. You don't need to fix everything overnight. Start small. Pick 1 or 2 changes, stick with them, and watch how your body responds. You might already know some of these tips. They might even seem basic, but when you put them into action, the results are out of this world. And if you've made it this far, you're clearly ready for better sleep. So here's what I want you to do. Type "better sleep" in the comments below. That's your way of declaring, "I'm ready for change." Don't forget to hit subscribe, tap the like button, and share this video with a friend who also struggles with sleep. Because better sleep isn't just about tonight, it's about living every day with more energy, more joy, and more life. Remember, the path to peaceful sleep starts at the dinner table. Make the shift, and your nights and mornings will never be the same.